Okay, this is Dave Bennett with MOWG-crew.com, and I'm going to go over the MOWG-HB, the second generation instructions. It is January 26, 2013, and if you've already followed the installation video and written procedures there and installed it, then you've got your two MOWG-HB, and you probably pulled out a couple of shortcuts you could use. So let's go ahead and start. Since I'm on 64-bit, I'm using the regular HB version there. So I pop this thing open. Now, what do we know? We have four choices. We have a geo-targeted choice. That's for local search. It's for doctors, dentists, lawyers, plumbers who work within an area where maybe they have an operational range of something like 40 miles radius to wherever they work. So maybe they're in Michigan or Ohio or California or Texas, and you're going to do a run for cities in that area. Well, we have a geo-targeted or local search style run that intentionally targets cities or local areas. And that's really cool. Then aside from that, if your business is basically nationwide, if it's something like a ClickBank affiliate link for some sort of software you can get or some program you can get involved in, whatever, then there's a no geo version. Okay, and that means simply that no geography applies. And so you're doing the run without geography. Then there's the subdomain version of each of these. So you can put up subdomains, and that's a touch more complex, but anyway, subdomains like this. Here's your regular domain. And it might be www dot, or it might not, but then the domain would be domain.com, say. Okay. Subdomain version is different. It's like this. Project.domain.com. And project could be anything. It could be Texas landscaping. So you might even do something like this. Landscapers dot whatever your domain is. Domain.com, .net, .biz, .org, anything with three letters. Okay. People say, what about .info? It's just glitchy. Don't ask me why. What about other things like what is that? Co.uk? It's probably a programming hurdle and you can't really do it. Just stick with .com, .net, .biz, .org, three-letter extensions. It's got to be a top-level domain and gotten through our link, and I'll point that out later. But let's just talk about how the whole process works anyway. This is a subdomain. Now, some people say, okay, subdomains, I like doing them. Don't do them first. Do regular projects first. So, for example, you're going to do a regular project. That means this. Don't use a sub. Don't use a sub. Just stick with HB Geo or HB No Geo to start. It's important because you need to get just regular content on your site before you consider putting up subdomain content. So if you wanted to start off that way, it might even be something like that. This is going to be the kind of a project idea you're going to do. Okay, it's a project rather than a subdomain. Normal project, a section of your website. Okay, now that's not hard to grasp. It's just a way of explaining what's here. You know, HB GeoSub and no GeoSub. So if you're doing like a GeoSub, it would be maybe Texas Landscapers. If not, maybe it's just landscapers, landscaping. Okay, that kind of thing. And our software creates 10 versions of these automatically, and you'll get the list. So it would be like landscapers.domain.com, landscaping.domain.com, landscape-company.domain.com, and the software creates 10 versions automatically, and it does it from your top 10 keywords. It takes whatever your keywords were, like landscaper, landscapers, landscaping, landscaping company, whatever those top 10 are, and you have to have at least 10 keywords for any project you do with this. It's the way it's set up. It requires 10 keywords. Then it will create the versions and it will replace the spaces with dashes and it will make them all just what you think. For subdomains, it would be like this. Okay. And if you don't have subdomains, then it's going to go the other way around. In other words, like this. Control-X. Okay. And it's taking care of HTTP:// issues automatically, so don't worry about them. Okay. But it would be this format, and this is just the regular project run format. Okay. So just know you're going to start with one of those. So pick your weapon. Are you doing a run that has geo-targeting or not? And so start with one of those, not the subs, just start with one of those. All right, so let's say we're going to do a geo-targeted one. Why do I say that? because it's just simply one more step than the no geo-targeted, and other than that, they're the same thing. Okay, basically, they're not the same files. These files, believe it or not, you go in here, and here's going to be the model HTML page, for instance. It's even called model with geo. It's actually a different thing than this no geo run where it just has, it's called model no geo. These are different files, so you cannot mix and match them. Don't accidentally like copy and paste some files from here to here or here to here. Just leave them intact the way they are. Now, okay, let's do an HB geo. Okay, now what do we do? All right, step one, and we'll talk about this after a bit. We're going to actually create this for your own website. So we're going to put your domain, your login information, FTP information, which is the same as your control panel access for the way we set it up. But before we do that, let's just see if our installation worked. Okay, it's already set up with a dummy run. It's got dummy data. It's got dummy keywords, 10 of them. Okay, it's got a dummy image. It's got a dummy project name and a dummy website that's going to put this that the image is going to click through to. Okay, it's got the whole thing set up already, so don't even have to think about it. All you know is you just got done installing two MOWG HB and HB. You put your shortcuts where you wanted, and you open this like for the very first time ever. Never opened it before. What can you do? Hit this thing and see if it works in your computer, just to make sure it goes all the way through to the end, and um, and it looks right. Okay, and I could do it right now. As why not? Just to show you how it works. So here we go. We're going to run it through. We're going to let it do this kind of job it's doing. It's going to open a few of these command prompt windows on you. If you want, you can close this back window, get it out of your way. That's if you want, or just simply minimize it. If it's not, and that way you can just make sure you see all your windows because there's going to be different windows opening. Okay, and so we just let it do whatever it's doing. Okay. And in the background, it's running. That's what's going on. It's hard to see all these windows, but it's actually running all of these projects. Okay. And one place we can see them is with a different shortcut we had. Okay. And again, it's okay if you have these windows that don't seem to say much or anything at all. That's perfectly normal. Okay. But we can look in our runs folder here. Wow. And make sure we're seeing these folders appear. Notice how they're those top domains, or I'm sorry, those top keywords. Okay. And whenever you get these popped up, if you want, you can minimize it. Don't close it, right? That'll break it in the middle, but just minimize it to get out of your way. Or you can simply click somewhere back here, to get this window in focus. Now what's it doing? It's getting all the images for the run. It's got it in the right place for the upload. I've got my image here, just a cute thing. There's all kinds of images, and you can use any images you want. And you'll discover that as we go. And then it's creating all of these individual projects here. And these projects have pages in them, okay? And they're not gonna look right until the thing uploads onto the website, but don't worry about it. Okay, so just click off. Let it go ahead and do its job. It's also got an index page that's renamed oddly in case you already have an index page. In other words, your very first run, you're going to want to change this when you unzip it on the website later to index.html so that you have a main page. But then on future runs after that, you don't want the new index page to always overwrite the old one, right? You already have an index page that's been getting age and rank in Google, so you don't want to just suddenly willy-nilly change it to something else. So you would never rename this to index.html since you now have one on your website, okay? Then there's emoji sitemap.html. This has got the master sitemap links. Plus, it downloaded any emoji sitemap you already had on your website to add the links to the top. Matter of fact, here's the way to see that. These top 10 links are the projects I'm doing right now. Okay, they're being added to whatever was there already, and this will be uploaded to the site in that zip file that's going to come up. Now, when I come back here, here's what I want to make sure. See this sleep command? We're waiting here on something called finish zips.bat. I had to make sure that that sleep was long enough, in this case 150 seconds, in order for everything else, all the other windows, the command prompt windows to close. because if they did not close first, they were not finished. They're still producing pages. And we do not want this zipping process to start because that's what it's doing. It's zipping everything up and forming this zip file right here. Okay, because it's way faster to upload to the website that way. All right. And now it's uploading it. Literally, it's uploading that zip file which it moved into a folder right here. Okay. That's the one, files with main page.zip. It's uploading it to the website. All right. Okay. And when it uploads that, when it gets done uploading it, then it's going to open, if you have Internet Explorer, or if you don't, maybe Firefox, but it'll open an Internet Explorer window onto the host monster page where you're going to log in to unzip it. And then there you go. There's your entire website with all the pages that were created in there. All right. So for instance, here's that. And it gives me this pop-up page with all the instructions. The instructions for all that it's saying. Okay, it's just giving you all the notes you need to know so you don't mess it up. The instructions are easy. Here's what it says. Go into your appropriate host monster account. In this case, that's the one, fill forms. Okay. All right. Go in there. And it'll log in a second. And then when you get there, click that cPanel link at the top to make sure you're in the right tab. See this one. And I'm already there because it's this orange yellow color. I know that's the one it's selected, and I can tell anyway because of all this stuff. Now, see where it says files down here, like the sixth section down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inside that section, you see an icon called File Manager. Notice that's not the legacy file manager, it's just File Manager. That's what we want to hit. Wow. Now, make sure this middle choice is selected, web root public underscore HTML slash www. Just make sure that's selected, the middle one with the globe here. And that's really it. Hit go. Now that you did that, these are all folders from other runs that already existed on the website, which means I probably already do, and I do. I have an index.html page already on the website. But take a look at this. This is that files with main page.zip that I just uploaded. This already existed before from some other thing a long time ago. But this is the one I care about. I just now uploaded it today at 10:22 p.m. It is now 10:24. So that is certainly this one. It looks complete to me. It says like 11.74 megabytes, which with that sample run, that dummy run there, that is correct. That's the right size. So I just right click this thing. Don't necessarily play around with the name. You could rename it if you click it wrong, and you don't want to do that. Just like click here maybe, right click, and simply hit extract at the bottom. See this extract? Just hit that. And that says, where do you want to send it? And it will give you the default. That's where you are right now, public underscore HTML, and that is correct. So I want to just extract right where it is. So don't even change anything. In other words, find your folder, right click, extract, extract. That's it. Okay, it'll take seconds. Now I forget how many pages it was set for, but in any case, it's a lot. And here we go. So it added in any new files that did not already exist. And if there were some that did, if I already had some folders like these, then it would have overwritten whatever pages had matching names and overwritten anything else and updated everything. And I'd be good to go. And the sitemaps are intact. All this stuff is good to go. A word of wisdom is when you do these runs, you don't want to use the same top 10 keywords twice, just once. In other words, where if you have a keyword list of 50 keywords, okay, we always want to create new project folders, or you're going to lose old pages. It's hard to explain, but I'll get to it when I get to it. All right, anyway, it's saying this process is complete. In a few more moments, Internet Explorer will open if you have it. You may then close any remaining command prompt windows like these and log into your hosting account to extract the zip file you wish. Okay, that's good. That's all I needed to know. And the last thing that was on the website, if you're doing this for the first time on your website and you extract it, again, if you need a main page, right? Let's go back in there. If you needed a main page because you did not have a main page, say this was a different, let me just rename it temporarily, index like 222, okay? Boom. All right. So let's say I did not have an index page. That's the main page of your website when it's in the public underscore HTML folder, right? That's got to be the main page of your website, and it should have the name index.html to work. That way, if someone goes just simply to your front page, they'll see that page. Okay. See how it says index-23hb23. Again, that's so it doesn't just automatically overwrite your index page all the time. We gave it a weird name like that because chances are really, really good you are not going to have a page with that name, right? Okay, so how do you make it your front page? Right click, rename, and just rename it. Take off that -23hb23. Leave it simply index.html, no spaces or anything. Rename it. Okay, and there you have it. That is now the main page of the site. As a matter of fact, I can even just go and look real quick. There it is. There's my main page. It's geo-targeted like I intended in this case with my dummy keywords. This is my dummy pages I'm creating with, I'm saying Akron, Ohio, MOWG, choose, and then here's the name of the thing I'm promoting, the production name, Elkhart Family Dental Services. Of course, it doesn't make much sense. But there you go. And this is actually a picture of me and my family here from last year, actually. We need to get a new one. But anyway, what's it say? It says click the image for the best MOWG covering Akron, Ohio. That goes with all this, and everything else is correct. So if you click it, it goes to the page I wanted it to go to, right? There it is. There's the options and the different things I wanted. And so this is just pointing out some run options. Okay, and that's how I'm using other websites to create runs that promote me. Now, I wouldn't normally use a family photo like this. I would use a photo that evokes need, greed, or curiosity, something related to the destination page, right? Something like maybe this. And if I have something like Snagit, okay, and I've shown you guys things like this before, I could have taken the picture I wanted. I could draw a region, say, and hit capture and I could just draw out the picture I wanted to promote with, right? Maybe that's it. Okay, that pops up over here. And so I can adjust it if I had with sliders and everything, get it just the way I want. I could do other things. You know, I could add little, well, what do I want to say? I could add print, I could put in arrows, different sorts of things that I want to do. Any of this is possible, just draw them in. But here you go. Let me say that's the one I wanted, and I could save it to my desktop, and I could give it a name, MOWG Crew. Maybe I want to save it as a .jpg file. Boom. And now I got a MOWG Crew.jpg. Bam. Okay. And maybe that's what I would want to use for that production, right? Now, there you go. So how do you use an image for your production the way you want? Well, there's two parts to it. One is this, okay? GeoSub. By the way, it did run all the way through just fine, right? That was the point I wanted to make before. Second, when you want to use your own image, take it and drag it in here. It should be in the same place, the same folder, same area. It should be just as visible as the one-run.bat. They need to be next to each other like this when you do your run. Okay, there's more you need to do, but this is it. That way, when I do the run, one of the steps will be to chop this thing out and stick it where it belongs in here. All right, and it'll put it in here where everything else is, all the images that make up the site. And so it'll do that for me. All I had to do was have it in the same place as the one-run.bat that I mean to click on. Remember, this is the HB Geo. And so if I'm doing a geo-targeted run, the image has got to be here. Now, if I wanted to do a no geo-target run, I could copy or cut this, right? And take it, whoops, to my HB, take it to my no geo, and I would paste it in there because I'm going to hit that run button when I get to it. There's step one, step two, then run. And it's like that on all the projects. Step 1, step 2, then run. Same with the subs. There's a step 1, step 2, and run. And they all follow the same basic procedure. Okay, so let's say now you don't want to put the runs on my website. And by the way, mine, that all did work out. I put it up and everything's there. And it's okay in my case if I leave that be the front page because it's just a sample site. I'm not trying to rank it or anything. That's just a site you guys can put your runs up on and make sure they came out right so you can see how they look. You can click your links and make sure it updates everything, that now it's about whatever, MOWG system. That's a different keyword. Covering Boise, Idaho. That's a different place. Not Akron, Ohio. And this is the rest of the sections. These work. All of these click through properly. They're all optimized. If you hover and read all the little pop-ups and read through the pages, you'll find the keyword density is all about the keyword you're after, MOWG system. We're using it in combinations. We got keyword then geo-targeting, and down below, geo-targeting then keyword. That way our pages can come up for both combinations, whether people thought to type Richland Veterinarian or Veterinarian Richland. Our pages are thinking that way. They're working on the behalf of that. And then of course I would have my veterinarian image in here and it would say contact, Richland, Michigan Veterinarian Services or something. It would something like that, Don't go out more than about 50 characters, 50 characters on this, because otherwise it can wrap around. Then it'll look a little silly. Okay. But yeah, most production names are just simply whatever the name is of the thing you're trying to promote, whatever you want to call it. Okay. And the pages are all good and they all continue to talk about the theme using concepts built from the keywords, all right, that you had in your keyword list when you ran this thing. All right. There's links to the sitemap, the MOWG sitemap, for all the other projects that you just ran up. So you can actually make sure all these pages are live and working, but they are as long as the zipping began after all the files got finished processing. That leads me to the next thing. What if you go to run it and the zipping starts before the other windows all close down? Well, first of all, you have a slow computer. All right, because I set these times to be very large. But if you need to raise the time because your computer is slow, here's how.